With so many of Kent State's key players exiting in the offseason, transferring to other schools of all different levels, there was concern around this roster, but with Coach Ty's ability to not only be a tactician but recruit as well, he has this Kent State roster primed for a big season through massive transfers. And it all begins at quarterback with the transfer in Mason Kelsey, a redshirt freshman from Delaware. He basically fills in exactly what we were set to miss with Drew DeShields exiting. He's got plenty of athleticism with some ability to pass. How well he could do at that and how much he develops, that might be limited. The good news for the passing game in the wake is Quincy Enunwa, a 3-star normal dev high school recruit that very much could be this team's future in the passing game. Though his ability to escape the pocket and run around, that does not show much sign of improvement. The running back room will be led by the sophomore redshirt return in Aiden Harris. Saw some playing time last year, though that was just 7 carries, 34 yards. His moves are balanced between elusive and power, but it is the break tackle that leads the group at 82. We'll also see a combination of redshirt freshmen behind Harris in Garrick Gaines, a thick running back, but actually is the fastest of the bunch. Tag teaming with him to spell out Harris will be Terrian Martin, another redshirt freshman and East-West playmaker. With massive success in the wide receiver transfer portal, Tank Hawkins joins the group for the Kent State Golden Flashes and should be the gadget player, taking over for Etheridge. He is a true junior, 5'10", 172 pounds, impact dev, and he is quick. 97 speed, 96 acceleration. He's raw though as an actual receiver, very similar to Etheridge. But where he may miss in height as well as hands, Ivan Carrion does not. From Odessa, Texas, a redshirt sophomore standing at 6'6", 231 pounds. He has a lot of room to improve, comes in with some solid athleticism, hands at a great spot. Route running is where he needs to improve, but look for him close to the end zone. Couple jump balls. Rotating in as that third receiver, potentially on the outside, a little bit in the slot, will be Harry Hassman, another transfer from Texas, 6'2", 188, a redshirt freshman with impact dev. He too provides the height, the speed, hands still raw, but could very well be a developmental deep route runner. The one man sticking out from the crowd who was here originally is Trevor Rogers, another redshirt sophomore. At 6'3", 201, he too has impact dev, and he will be the starting slot receiver. With good enough speed, hands pretty solid, route running not going to improve much more, but just provides a stable guy playing in the slot. Another returner from last year who didn't see too much playing time, Hunter Hopperton, will be the starter at tight end, the redshirt senior at 6'2", 252. Normal dev for him. And while he may not be the fastest guy, nor is his route running very developed, he does provide solid hands while also being able to block for the running game. Up front for the offensive line, we return a lot of players, Mahoney leading the way down the middle. But we do have one raw strength transfer in Nair Daniels, getting the start, a redshirt sophomore at 6'8", 346 pounds. We would love for him to continue developing, but it looks like mostly he is about capped. But if that power can lead the way, we might be able to run off the left side. On the defensive side, Jalen Thompson was the highest rated transfer player, coming in and playing left edge rusher at 6'3", 261. He'll be here for just 1 year, and he will provide exactly what this team needs on defense, a presence at edge rush, both rushing the passer and stuffing the run. Opposite him was Britton Bush, another transfer at 6'3", 246, coming from Indiana. While he might be a step down, room to improve, and he has 2 years of eligibility. With Zeke Kaysen exiting this team, Elijah Fall comes in to fill in his spot at 6'4", 282 pounds, another pure power guy stuck down the middle with 90 power moves. The strength can still get a whole lot better. He's not fast, but he can shed some blocks, make some clean tackles, and he is a smart player. He'll be teaming up with Mason Maddox, who returns from last year and was top 2 in sacks last season. We'll hope to see a whole lot more this year. We also saw a lot of additions to the linebacking group. Jeremiah Tellender, while he is a highly rated player, 87 overall, that pass coverage is very raw, so he will be primarily a run stopper, and that is very well developed. The 88 tackle, 81 block shed. But who's expected to captain this defense is going to be Grayson Howard, another transfer for the linebacker group. He's a signal caller at 6'4", 233 pounds, a star dev, and he has some pretty high caps to keep developing. As a senior, we hope he teaches Syed Abu Hamde a little bit more. The redshirt junior returning from last year will be one of our nickel linebackers. Still raw, a lot of room to improve, and we're hoping the addition at linebackers helps him out. The one group on this team that is very raw is the cornerback group with no new additions. One interesting player to keep an eye on is Joel Cordoba, the redshirt freshman with great size, 6'2", 195. He's a field archetype, and while the caps are sitting about mid-range here, he does provide some of the best coverage of the bunch. But leading that cornerback room is going to be Jair Rollison, returning from last year. Normal dev, though he does still have some room to improve, does provide some of the best hand speed and coverage combination of any of the cornerbacks. But as for the backfield, Colin Gill joins as a transfer, playing free safety at 6 foot flat, 217 pounds. He is a star dev player with some solid IQ. Coverage skills pretty good as well. Should be able to cover well out the back and cover the full length of the field. His partner should be Jaden Harris over at strong safety, also 6 foot flat, 202 from Metro Atlanta. And he provides a little bit of some man to fill in down in the box. Plenty of speed, should be a solid tackler as well. Seeing some playing time last year, Tevin Tucker, the redshirt junior, should also see some playing time here at safety, filling in, especially if we run any 4-2-5. We also have transfer additions in the special teams unit. David Olano will be coming in with a strong leg, and we just hope that accuracy will help pick us up a few long-range points. And unfortunately for Jacob Ulrich, he's a player no one wants to see on the field. Transfer in at punter. He too has a strong leg. His accuracy is capped, but as long as he can boot it deep, we will take it. We will be taking all of them to Columbus, Ohio to kickstart Season 2, Week 0 on the road, facing the Ohio State Buckeyes. If we ever want this team to be top, this is a team we've got to beat. And while we might be a little bit outclassed, all these transfers came from Power 4. So let's get this underway and see what these transfers can do. And it will be with a long field in front for Coach Ty. Tank Hawkins leading the bunch out there. He's going to be their secret weapon on offense. Very few programs will be able to match the speed purely from him. But we've got a long field in front, and it starts down the middle with Bailey. He's another one of those returners here for the Kent State offense, one of the few. With a 2nd and 8 here. They will look to go to the air, left-hand side, and an air-mailing Kelsey. This is obviously a tough situation here. 3rd toughest place to play in opening up your year with a whole lot of new teammates. That's one, though, you might just want back. Pressure is right in the face. Rasheem Biles plants Kelsey. We punt away. Ulrich will give us as much space as he can. But speaking of speed, Jeremiah Smith facing Rollison today is a fast man himself. And they start plus side with a quick throw, finding their star receiver for the first down. is Brendan Innes with the grab, and he's just one of 4 star receivers here for Ohio State. They also have a running back and quarterback in the same tackles, book-ending. Gill misses the tackle in the backfield, another whiff, diving miss, and Peoples takes it to the end zone. A 2-play drive capping off their first possession after their defense forced a 3 and out. That's just a slight wake-up call to the level of competition we have in state alone. Another long field here as it's a handoff down the middle, picking up 2. We'll take whatever positive yards we can get. Martin checks in at running back, spelling out Harris. They do look to go with a quick throw across the middle. Rogers has about 6. With the bells tolling here in Columbus, it's another 3rd down. Bunch to the right-hand side. Hard count, not going to pay off. We'll have to find somewhere to throw here, or Kelsey will look to leak out to the left-hand side. He's by the 40. Does not spin by, but he does break off the tackle close to midfield. Mason Kelsey, big play on 3rd. If this passing game is going to be a struggle, then we need his legs to come through, and that it does. Slightly quieting down the crowd here with carrying in motion over on the right-hand side. And dropped. Hopperton unable to squeeze it. Will be 2nd and 10, just shy of midfield. Speed option here, but the linebacker read it. Trayvon Fuller, though, injured here for Ohio State. We'll have to exit the field of play as the Buckeyes have forced another 3rd down here, 3rd and long. The hard count again, no one jumps. Thrown underneath, that is going to be Hawkins using that speed, stretching out the play, but is shy. We see a timeout being called here. Now, that was not by Kent State, that was by the Buckeyes. They were not prepared for the offense to stay on this field. They will have motion across. Looks like some DBs shake things up a little bit. They will hand it off. Harris with space, and it is Kent State converting. Another big play for Coach Ty that has them well inside plus side, inside the 30. Gaines joins the backfield. Now 3 backs back there as they go with some play action. Rolling weak side and throwing. Almost a one-hand grab. Harris left on an island, and Kelsey barely finds him. We'll take that. Keeping with the same look and following it with a run to gain -2 yards. But instead, a 3rd and 8 it will be again as the bells toll. Kelsey doesn't like it, though. He changes it. Checking the sideline, coach seems to agree. So 3rd and 8. They'll go to the air, and they've got Taylor. He's got the 1st down. That's tight end 2. He's a man who has plenty of speed for that bunch. With a 1st and goal here, you got a weak pistol set. And they're going with a jump ball broken up, intended for carrying. Coach Ty talked a lot about trying to set up some jump balls for him with his height. The 2nd and goal here, they do look to go to the air. Stepping up, Kelsey, he finds some space, and Kent State ties this game in Columbus, Ohio. Their first drive, 3 and out. But drive number 2 found several 3rd down and 4th down conversions. And the transfer in Mason Kelsey leads them down the field and finds that end zone. Not sure how sustainable a drive like that will be, but you will take that, especially here in week 0. Sayin and the Buckeyes back out on offense. Pretty easy drive last time. Checking down here and picking up 7. Now, Kent State last year, they had 5 players in double-digit TFLs. Haven't seen much for the front 7 yet. Bring the blitz here, and it's all picked up well. Diving grab. Brandon Ananias back again. He had a big play on their first drive, the first play. Motion in on the right-hand side, that's going to be Smith. Though checking down to the tight end here, and Gill with help takes him down. And it's open field tackling that has to be clean this year for this unit. 2nd and 3, and stacking the front with the running back motioning out. Well backfield. Facing the blitz, pass goes opposite side, and Gill with another tackle, but another first down gain. Simple game of pitch and catch there for Sayin. They'll continue on here plus side, flooding one side of the field all the way to the outside. A little spin move helps open up the play. And we'll have the Buckeyes with a 2nd and 2 if they do look to snap this ball. Time running down in the first, and they will snap it with no time on the clock. Thompson gets pressure, but Sayin steps up. He's got space, weaving down inside the 15 as the first quarter comes to a close. Surprisingly, we've got a tie game here, 7 apiece, though the Buckeyes having no problem on offense. One good drive for Kent State has this game tied up. We'll see if the defense can keep it a 3-point game here as they look for a red zone stand. Sayin on the read option, looks to get outside. Gill with another open field tackle. 18 yards for Sayin on the ground here today as that run goes nowhere. Though looks like Nevis is a bit banged up on the play. He'll end up making his way to the sideline on what is a 3rd and 6 at the 10. Defense looking to stand here as they look to flood. Open down the middle, though throwing late is nearly picked. Anias comes diving in, having to play a little bit of some corner work out there. We've got a field goal right down the hash here. Buckeyes back in front, but a promising stand there from the Kent State Golden Flash defense, holding Ohio State to 3. When on paper you look at this matchup and Ohio State is 30 overall points higher, it's a pretty good start. Unfortunately for Kent State, they're starting yet again way backed up. Time running down here, inside 5 seconds on that play clock. They do snap it. Harris has some space down the middle. Can't complain about a gain of 5 here, and so far, at least in the running game, offensive line seemingly holding their own. Draw here, Harris. He's got the first down. Gain of 8. Though he gets up a little bit gimmicky there. He'll have to make his way to the sideline. Well, this is not necessarily a deep running back team here. Several players left. We'll see what they've got in store for us here as Gaines checks in. They go play action. And throwing downfield for Martin, broken off. It did look like he had a step, but the speed to recover from the DB takes that away. Motion across here and a little bit of some speed option. Kelsey may be able to pick up 2. That leaves Kent State with another 3rd down. Slight motion left side. They will throw it quickly. Broken off. Hawkins couldn't squeeze it. And we talked about at the beginning here of how the hands are a work in progress. A pure athlete. We're going to need some pure skills here to get back off the field with a check down. Smith chopped out Abu Hamde. I believe that is his first catch on the game. Abu Hamde might be his first tackle as well. And what a play from Thompson. We talked about skill, but what about smarts? He just dead-eyed his way to the quarterback and forces a 3rd and 7. Chance to get off the field here, though, wide open opposite side of the field. No one carried. The receiver sat back in a cover 3 there. And your seam flat was short. Abu Hamde stayed underneath. A massive down to give up on a 3rd and long. Smith will respond with another grab as he picks up 5. And once again inside the 30, here are the Buckeyes. As a delayed blitz comes in, pressure builds, and capping off the drive, Quincy Porter finishes what he started with just a pure difference in speed out there. Cordoba was not keeping up with him. The good news for Kent State is for the first time today, they're not starting back inside the 15. At the 25, they need a drive to answer. Flipping the hips and throwing downfield, a diving grab. Welcome to the game, Harry Hassman. Rocking in the slot here with a 1st and 10 as they look to go a little bit of some play action. Rolling, throwing downfield, Hawkins can't sideline grab it. That's one that maybe Martin, if he returned from last year, may have made. He was the only one doing that for this team. Throw across the middle, a one-hand snag, carrying. I don't know about you, but that was impressive. As impressive as Harris returning to this game for a 3rd and 3. Stood up down the middle. They clearly trusted him in that position. Unfortunately, losing a yard, but the offense goes nowhere. Down by 10 here. A hard count, no one jumps. Looking to step up, throwing this one, and off the hands of Rodgers. It's a turnover on downs. And perhaps quarterback there could have kept it scrambling, but he saw an open target. Fortunately, that target could not squeeze it. They hand it off. Big block comes in to open it up, and that will go as a rumble for 13. The senior back in Cedric Alexander on the carry. Back inside plus side here are the Buckeyes with a big stop on the edge, Abu Hamde. He gets a little help from Rollison out at corner, and it's a loss of 6. Should be the final play here before the 2-minute warning. Throwing that one out late, but no problem. No one yelled pass, and we're definitely not yelling Oski. You had plenty of guys down there who could have tried to pick that one off, now needing another goal line stand. As Peoples picks up 5 on first down, looking to go to the air here and outside. Caught for the touchdown. Rollison tight in coverage, but could not break it up. And Tate, who had that big catch to get them down to the goal line, caps off another touchdown drive here for the Buckeyes. Now perhaps the score reflecting more what you would have imagined at the start. 24-7, just under a minute and a half here left in the first half. And a sack comes in. Jason Moore. Kelsey couldn't get rid of it. You lose 10 on first down. Stepping up here, Kelsey looking to take care of it on the ground. He trucks through one of those linebackers, and a timeout called here by the Buckeyes. They seem to have a feeling they could get off the field on this play with a 3rd and 10. Hard count, no one offers. Kelsey again under pressure, stepping up. He shakes through 2 tackle attempts, only to still go down as the final timeout is called. But trying to mitigate damage, we'll let Ulrich do what he does and put that ball as far away as he can. Popped up and nearly picked off by Fall. Could you imagine the first pick on the season coming from a big old DT? We'll take the incomplete pass as they look to set up a screen the opposite way. And they will get out of bounds. Goes as a gain of 6 and forces a 3rd and 4 here with 30 seconds to go. Ohio State with trips and now motion over to the left-hand side. Passes downfield, and there goes Smith. Down to the opposite 20. They'll look to go hurry up here. Getting no timeouts for them, but that clock does stop as they look to get reset. It looks like they will be spiking that ball with 19 to go. A deep receiver room versus a thin cornerback room. Expect a whole lot of passing in this one as that one goes for about 5-6 more. Peoples on the catch and hurry up here as they will look to clock it and most likely send out the field goal unit. This time kicking from the left-hand side in the final play of the first half. And it's right down the middle. Ohio State with a timely drive. Get another score on the board and make it 27-7. Well, you may not love the score line here when you're facing a team 30 overall higher than you across the board. There is definitely some things to be happy about and definitely some things that you know you need to correct. Getting shredded via the passing game was expected, but you still don't like to see it. We'd like to see the defense tighten up some of that coverage and get some more pressure up front. We have not seen much so far from the defensive transfers. Meanwhile, the offensive transfers are doing as much as they can. The offensive line, honestly, is not playing bad. We've seen some big plays via Kelsey. We just need to see a few more and string together drives. But before the offense will have a chance to do that, let's see if the defense has tuned anything up here at halftime with a 1st and 10, and it's going to be a keeper here saying, shaking 1 and picking up 5. We'll say one thing we've already seen improvement on this year is the open field tackles, not as many missed tackles, Pass across the middle, and fighting forward is Roberts. He'll pick up another Buckeye first down to the 35. And Sane will look to go back to the air here, across the middle and back to Roberts. Ohio State doing a great job, whether it's scheme-wise or your talent base of getting at least one player open each play. And getting to the outside to pick up about one is Alexander. Thompson, the transfer edge rusher, did slow him down a bit. And Harris, clean tackle. But it's these third downs that have been the problem in getting off the field. Facing Twins either side here. People's in the backfield. Sane has time for the check down, and Smith gang tackled at the 38. Well, they will trot out Corville standing on the 45. A 55-yarder is no doubt for him. Another one down the middle, but another field goal forced here by the defense. Again, facing this level of competition, there are little things you got to try to pick up, and that is something to be very proud about. Looking for pure speed downfield and hooking up with him, Tank Hawkins, flipping the field, and what a throw from Mason Kelsey. Red shirt freshman let that one fly. Now they just got to find some points off of it here with a great opportunity. Though this time a little bit too far and an unnecessary hit. He just got Rodgers speared in the back. Does leave a 2nd and 10. Rodgers, though, looks fine. He's out there as they go speed option. Unfortunately, I don't think that Kelsey ever saw the defender coming from the outside. So 3rd and 12 after the loss. Look to get up a little something here, but that pass too high. After hooking up on that deep ball to Hawkins, the offensive drive stalls. But the new kicker is perfect on the season as he sends that one straight through. And for Coach Ty, that is now 2 scoring possessions against the Buckeyes. The defense continue building off of their more promising start of the second half. Good stop there. Transfer Mike linebacker and Howard takes down Peoples for a short gain. At 2nd and 7. They do look to go back to the passing game, looking deep downfield, stock still. No one's keeping up with Smith. We air it out to our speedster. They air it out to theirs. And Jeremiah Smith strikes again, making this one 37-10. Even when a certain player plays on the other side of the field, sometimes you just have to give props. And that is props. The speed alone is just great. See if Coach Ty can get his offense back downfield here and find a touchdown this time. Rolling outside is Kelsey. Spy, though, has him. There's no laying off the hit there either. Forcing him out of bounds. It's a gain of 4. They go a little bit of some play action. Pressure builds, and Kelsey gets rid of that one. Pass does safely find the turf, but Kelsey has taken quite a few hits in this one. I'm sure they would like to keep him a bit cleaner. They look for the quick pass, a little bit high, through the hands, and somehow it's popped up. I don't know how that happens. Kelsey can't get the tackle. And whether that's supposed to be a pick six or a scoop and score, it's hard to tell, but it either way ends with more points on Ohio State's board. And poor work from the cameraman, having to get to the highlight reel here. Looked like it should have been a catch. 2nd hit pops it out. And it just happens to go straight to a teammate of the man who popped it out. The real unfortunate part is for Kelsey, that will go down as an interception, even though it very much was not his fault. He's looking a little bit cold out there as they look to go with a screen out to Martin. Not the fastest of the bunch, but good enough to pick up that first down. Well, I'm sure Coach Ty also a little bit worried about some of these extra hits at the end of plays not going called. Got to protect players on both sides. Passes downfield, and this time it's caught. Hassman, who loves seeing, though, Kelsey, just stay out there. Keep battling throughout this game. As he looks for someone to break open here, getting rid of that one, and I guess they'll say receiver in the area. I think you could definitely argue that there was no receiver in the area, pure throwaway, but no intentional grounding called. The 2nd and 10 as they go with a stretch left-hand side, picking up the first down, Martin. Haven't seen too much from the running game here, down 44-10, but do like to see them sprinkle it in a little bit. Gains, no gain. Will Harris injured earlier in this one, getting a little bit more playing time, a blend of power and elusive, as that one will be a pick purely on Kelsey. Just threw it too far in front of his receiver. Probably wouldn't have been a good choice to throw there either way. He does look to be a bit banged up out there as well. But a turnover there you could not afford. We'll see with just over a minute left here in the third if he sees any more playing time or if Coach Ty will look to pull him for more health concerns. But Britton Bush there with a good tackle on the edge. Be a loss of 1. Finally picking up a TFL here as it will be back to the air, to the outside and shoving him out. Porter, he picks up about a gain of 9, leaving 3rd and 2. Might go with some RPO here. We've seen them run that a little bit. It's read option, and Sayin has space. Gill, through his own teammate, helps get the tackle. For the Buckeyes quarterback, it's been pretty clean out there, even with a starting right guard that looks about the size of a running back. No disrespect there by any means, but that does look to send us to the 4th quarter. Ohio State very much in charge of this game via the passing game. The rushing yards are less than 50. And that's also with very limited plays made in the backfield today. Not much sacks, not many tackles for a loss here for Kent State. But there's been promise for that unit as they look to finish the game with a little bit more promise. Outside run, short. The transfer run stopper, Tellender, got out there to get him down prior to the line to gain. 2nd and 1, and we see some rotation out there for Ohio State. Their second team has entered the game, and it's their second team quarterback picking up that first down. RPO whipping it outside, though, a penalty as one of the backups comes in. And they'll catch him with a block in the back. Unfortunately, though, for Kent State, Howard, one of the transfer linebackers, exits the field of play on that play. Perhaps he might have been the man blocked in the back. With Ohio State only picking up 1 there, and with this game already 45-10, you would imagine he is most likely done for the day no matter the severity of that injury. As the defense just looks for some big plays here, their starters still in, struggling to get the stop. But by some miraculous force there, Ananias comes up a little bit short. Goal line v. goal line, and just powering forward. Kent State's front 7, no match in terms of strength there, or even the second team offensive line. As the check down nearly finds its way in, LeBlanc with the catch, tight end number 3 for Ohio State. It's a 2nd and goal. As they hand it off, Alexander stuffed. Lean tackle, Gill involved in that play. As a 3rd and goal. 2 spread to the right with some slight motion. Alexander, the running back, facing the blitz. It's blown up, though still running around before finally brought down back at the 10. Quinton Donald makes the official TFL. And from the left hash, at the 12, it'll be a 22-yard field goal here to make it 4 for 4 on the day. It's smack dab down the middle. I think for Coach Ty right now, you're just aiming at not giving up 50-plus points. Offense takes the field, and it is Tomlinson out at quarterback, so Kelsey's day is done. Throwing and finding Hassman. However, he forgot to hold on to the pass. Another broken up one for this defense. They do look to go back to the air. This time, dropped by Hawkins. So despite all the upgrades to the receiving group, drops still an issue out the gate here for Kent State. Hard count there from Tomlinson, no one bites. Trying to work that pocket and gets smacked as he releases by Hasty. But ultimately, this game definitely led to a blowout as Ohio State looks to add a little bit of salt to the wound here. Down at the goal line, they will break the 50 mark, knowing that they had to here against an in-state opponent. Well, right now, these teams are definitely polar opposites in terms of talent spectrum. They know Coach Ty has something building here. So for now, the Buckeyes can celebrate a massive win. And hard to pick out some things to be excited about when you get blown out like this. But where we were blown out was already an area we knew we would struggle. The cornerback group is thin. We don't have a whole lot of speed there, but most teams in the MAC do not have the level of receiving talent as The Ohio State University. They ran 4 deep here today. Sayin was able to just play pitch and catch out there. The O-line kept their quarterback clean. We'll look to get a true test next week as we head to a little bit more level competition before we get into the MAC. And that'll be with our home debut for Season 2 as we host Army. While this is probably a bit of a longer episode than normal, I'll try to run through the end here rather quick. We do have some extra points to put out on some players, but as it stands right now, we're looking pretty good. For all the 3-stars who had pre-interest in us this year, which is the only reason we have more than just one 3-star currently in our recruiting. All these other guys we are pretty light on. We just offered a scholarship in week 0, so we have a lot of room to still try to build upon. Though just 95 points to use, a few of these teams we are close, as other teams did offer scholarships earlier. We offered the scholarship plus some points. So outside of maybe 1 or 2 here, we're at a pretty good spot. But we might have, honestly, too many people on this board right now for us to truly get a good set of recruiting in. So we'll toy with this out the gate. But the good thing to see with all these guys right now is the green arrows pointing up. And that is always good news. But we'll get to test out what is a modern day triple option offense versus a more old school triple option offense in Army. As long as they're still running it, who knows into this second year, but should be a fun game. Now make sure you don't miss it. Hit that bear icon in the bottom right corner or scroll down and hit that sub button. While you're already down there hitting different buttons, make sure you're also tapping that bell icon as well so you're notified of when all these videos go live. We'll be back on Monday with the Army game. Giants on Tuesday and Thursday, back again on Friday with a new MLB series franchise with the Minnesota Twins on Wednesday. This time it will not be a stream. We'll get that all normal pre-recorded episode and get stuck into that series. If you did not see that stream on last Wednesday, make sure you do check it out just to kind of catch yourself up with what we're doing in MLB The Show. But Kent State, a lot of promise today. We just have to build upon it.